Morning, Malcolm. So, Roger, we're going to walk over to the Plaza Club here this morning. This is the last mile walk for the HVCA ThinkTech luncheon program this month. This is January. End of Act 221 is somehow related to the smaller number of venture capital deals. There's not the venture capital investments out there. Is that people are demoralized by the fact that the legislature pulled it even before its time was up. People don't remember the exact details of how that happened. They just remembered that there was a breach there. So I think that sticks with us a long time as a demoralizing factor. We're going to check it all out now. This is getting serious. Hello, Susan.
Hello, Dave.
Be careful, you're on candid camera.
Oh, yeah?
Welcome to ThinkTech on OC16, Hawaii's weekly newscast on things that matter to tech and to Hawaii. I'm Jay Fidell.
And I'm Roger Ulveling.
In our show tonight, we'll cover the HVCA ThinkTech Deal of the Year Awards luncheon that took place last month at the Plaza Club.
Our keynote for that luncheon was Lieutenant Governor Brian Schatz, who spoke about the Clean Energy Initiative in Hawaii.
The program opened with remarks by Bill Spencer, president of the Hawaii Venture Capital Association, and by our sponsor, Steve Petronic of Hawaii Business Magazine.
Welcome to the January 26th Hawaii Venture Capital Association Venture Capital Deal of the Year Award Ceremony. To get things started, I'd like you to welcome our sponsor from Hawaii Business Magazine, the editor-in-chief, Steve Petronic.
Thanks, Bill. I was editing a story just this morning on for an upcoming issue when I came upon this quote from a leader in the mergers and acquisition field in Hawaii, and he said, "We have way more buyers than sellers." I don't believe that's true in other markets. Way more buyers than sellers. There can be a lot of reasons for that, but it reinforces something that I already knew, which is that whatever the problems we have of doing business in Hawaii, and we certainly have many problems and challenges with that whatever problems we face, there are still a lot of people who want what we have, and that is a business or an investment or some stake in Hawaii. And that's good news for deal making, which means that the more positive deals we make, the more investment money we bring in, and that means the more money that enters our economy, generates tax revenue for our schools and parks and roads. It's just good for everybody in Hawaii.
The keynote for the conference was then presented by Lieutenant Governor Brian Schatz. It was an important discussion of the Clean Energy Initiative in Hawaii, and it was well received by those at the luncheon.
So I'd like you to please warmly welcome Honorable Brian Schatz, Lieutenant Governor of the state of Hawaii.
I'd like to spend some time today talking about a sector that shows great promise in the state of Hawaii, and that is Hawaii's clean energy sector. So where are we with clean energy, and what comes next? Those of you who know me know I'm an impatient guy when it comes to making progress on important issues. And although there's a lot left to do, especially with respect to our clean energy goals, I'm encouraged by the significant progress made over the last few years and the alignment of critical elements that will ensure momentum continues. First, some indicators. As you know, in 2008, the state made a powerful commitment to fundamentally change our energy future. The state of Hawaii and the U.S. Department of Energy initiated a unique partnership to explore options to move Hawaii off of fossil fuel and to have 70% of our energy needs met by renewable resources by the year 2030. We have seen significant progress in the electricity generation sector. There were 30 distributed generation systems with a total capacity of 166 kilowatts in 2005. By 2010 alone, and the number keeps growing as you know, there were 2,188 systems with a total capacity of a little over 12 megawatts. The percentage of total energy generation from renewable sources has grown from 6.8% in 2005 to 9.5% in 2010. Hawaii's energy efficiency portfolio standard goal is 30% of total electricity sales by 2030. In 2005, we were at 5%, and by 2 years ago, we were at nearly 11%, about a third of the way towards our goal. And so there are some people who I run into, especially since I was assigned responsibility for supporting the Clean Energy Initiative by the governor in his State of the State address, who come to me and sort of pull me aside and say, really, 70%? And I say, really, 70%? Now, are there going to be challenges? Yes. Is it going to be tremendously complicated and tremendously difficult? Yes. Can we get there? Yes. It's going to take a joint effort. It's going to take technological breakthroughs. It's going to take federal support. It's going to take private investment. It's going to take university partnerships. But we can substantially reduce the extent to which we depend on foreign sources of fossil fuel. Significant progress has also been made on the policy and regulatory front. And perhaps the most important one was that in March of 2011, a decoupling mechanism was put into effect on Oahu, delinking the utilities' revenues, net revenues, from power sales. And this is something that we worked on in the legislature for as long as I was there, and was a great point of contention. But the basic idea was that, rightly or wrongly, it was hard for people to conceive that an electric utility would want to move towards renewable energy as long as their gross revenue and net revenue, in other words, the amount of electricity megawattage-wise that they were selling, was linked to profits. And so from a regulatory standpoint, they decoupled as I said, the utilities revenues from the power sales. This is a huge milestone and has already begun to bear fruit in terms of the behavior of the utility, which is duty-bound to maximize revenue for its shareholders. Feed-in tariffs were also approved in 2010 and 2011 to standardize power purchase agreements. And this is really important, especially for smaller projects less than 5 megawatts. What would happen is 5 megawatts is now considered relatively small and straightforward, especially in solar. And yet they were having to do individual power purchase agreements and hire attorneys and work through that Public Utilities Commission process. And what the commission discovered was that a lot of these things looked the same, and that they could be standardized, and it would be easier for the commission to process, and certainly easier for the businesses trying to actually get going with clean energy to move forward. And so feed-in tariffs is sort of a technical thing, but it basically makes relatively small renewable energy projects a lot quicker to get off the ground. I think now stuff gets real. Now stuff gets difficult. You're going to see and feel and touch clean energy. And it's a wonderful concept, but change is hard. And so a group like this can be very helpful in continuing the momentum, even when it does get hard, and it will get hard. So thank you to HVCA. Thank you to all of you for being committed to a better Hawaii. Aloha.
Then Bill Spencer presented the Venture Capital Deal of the Year award to the Teatris organization for having raised notable amounts of investment capital in the previous year. They happily accepted that award.
This year's winner is Teatris Online. Teatris was founded by Minoru Arakawa. Minoru, say hello to everybody. Minoru was also the founder of Nintendo America, so no small feat. And he joined our dear friend Hank Rogers, who couldn't be with us today, in founding Teatris Online, which is a company in the incredibly hot area of online gaming. And this company is on fire, en fuego, as they like to say. When we first started looking at the company about 3 or 4 months ago, I think they were doing about 1 million game plays a day. They're up to 4 million a day, and 50 million people a month. Is that right? 50 million people a month play this game online, and the other games they produce. This company is growing like topsy, and you can expect great things from them in the coming months and years. They're a great local company. They're headquartered right across the street here. They employ more than 50 people, and are a perfect example of what we can be doing in the tech sector in Hawaii.
So on behalf of our company's founders, Minoru Arakawa is here today, and Hank Rogers, along with the 55 employees at Teatris Online, we'd really like to thank the Hawaii Venture Capital Association for selecting us as the 2011 Deal of the Year for this Deal of the Year award. And we are very humbled and honored by this selection. One of the primary goals of the capital raise was to further enhance the growth and success of Tetris Battle, which is our flagship game on Facebook. And you heard some of the numbers that that Bill just went over. But just stepping back, just imagine that, making a game successful on Facebook. It doesn't get much better than that. And believe it or not, gaming is now a lucrative business opportunity on Facebook, as witnessed by the acquisition of a company called PopCap by Electronic Arts for $1.3 billion, and the recent IPO of Zynga that had an opening valuation of $7 billion. Since our raise last October, I'm pleased to report that what we had set out to do with Tetris Battle is exactly what we have accomplished. The game has seen stellar growth in terms of the daily active users, which now firmly positions us as one of the top 10 games in Facebook. Looking at the games on a monthly basis, we have about 12 million users playing over 1 billion games each month. And that puts us in the 5th largest game developer on Facebook. But best of all is that Tetris Battle, the game itself, was developed by a dedicated team of designers, engineers, and programmers right here in Hawaii. And I was very pleased to hear the Lieutenant Governor talk about the state's commitment and support of what I term the emerging growth industries here in Hawaii, whether it be clean energy, technology, or the gaming industry. From silicon to sand, we're demonstrating to the rest of the world, what's possible from our great state. But there's still much more work to be done, and we feel that we're just scratching the surface on an industry that is rapidly evolving. So, with that in mind, we look forward to 2012 and beyond. So again, on behalf of the Tetris Online team, I'd like to thank you for this award.
The crowd then proceeded to some intense networking, which is the benchmark of these HVCA ThinkTech luncheon meetings. We were able to get some comments about the program and the award from those who were there.
We are very happy and very honored.
The importance for us is we're doing it here from Hawaii, and the silicon to sand statement is something that we really believe in.
The growth that we're seeing right now is just beyond what we had imagined. So we're very, very pleased and very happy. It's really important that Hawaii continue to look for these emerging growth industries.
I'm on the Ben Franklin Technology Development Authority, and we get involved also in tax credits and things like that. I think the tax credit program, which is now ended, could be restructured in a way that becomes more facilitating of really getting real investors in to want to play a part in the development of the company, not just being a passive investor.
it's a pleasure to be here because there's always the top people here, and really get the pulse of what's going on. Especially having the Lieutenant Governor here. I mean, he really is a huge supporter, and to hear that and to feel it, that's fabulous.
It's just awesome how the people in Hawaii just are active to support the community, and I just love it. I just feel blessed to be here, and I appreciate everyone.
What I would say is, there are more ventures in this town that they're just amazing.
This is my first time to a meeting, and I'm really excited.
Many to come. Right?
First of many to come, because I had a great time here. I enjoyed meeting people. I've learned a lot of things, and looking for an opportunity to network some more and pitch my projects.
Big things happen here in Hawaii. I mean, it's just, we have such a creative industry.
It's a fabulous program. It's amazing what's going on here. And I was really excited to hear about Teatris. That's a fun company. It was great to have all the updates on the clean energy stuff that Hawaii's focusing on. And that's an interesting space for us as investors.
I thought the talk was terrific. And I guess the winners are the winners. I mean, I don't know much about gaming online, but
It's not too late, Mike.
I always enjoy listening to Brian Schatz. I think he talks, it makes it very simple and a good, he's on it. I like it. I like the way he talks and thinks. I hope he'll be around for a long time.
I think the whole concept of the renewable energy that was talked about today is the wave of the future, and there's no better place in the entire world to develop this than here in Hawaii.
The question was, what percentage of the of energy can be from intermittent sources? And the electric company is saying 15%, which is clearly too small, even to a layperson like me. And I said 50% just as a number, but clearly it has to be bigger than 15%. The real riches will go to the person who develops the right storage.
I think this is a great event. I love Hawaii, and I think Lieutenant Governor has taken a great role in leading Hawaii moving forward.
Very entertaining. Yeah, really liked. Actually, I was more curious on renewable energy, so that's why I was actually here.
I came all the way here from Charlottesville, Virginia. I'm a student, a business school student at UVA, and I came here just to kind of understand the business climate in Honolulu as well as Hawaii in general. And I was really impressed with the Lieutenant Governor as well as the Deal of the Year. Who knew that Hawaii had a burgeoning video game industry?
I thought Brian did a fantastic job of describing all of the problems that we have with renewable energy.
Well, this is my first event with Hawaii Venture Capital Association, and I'm truly impressed. One of the things that I really found interesting is that every time I read about innovation and technology in Hawaii, I'm amazed. It's amazing to me the things that are coming out of Hawaii, like Teatris Online.
Today was a wonderful program. I'm always happy to be able to participate when Lieutenant Governor Schatz is speaking. And what I found very significant is his emphasis that Hawaii can be a template for renewable energy projects globally.
The acknowledgement of the tech, innovation, and startup companies in our community who have been able to raise venture capital and export their IP to the world is intended not only in recognition, but to incentivize others and to demonstrate Hawaii's ability to participate in the global economy. Our sincere congratulations and our best wishes to the winners and to all of those who participated.
Now for our ThinkTech calendar of events going forward.
ThinkTech's 4 to 5 p.m. weekday drive time radio series on KGU 760 AM continues this week, covering business, Asia, tech, energy, the arts, and government. Tune in to 760 AM every weekday at 4 p.m. and raise your awareness on ThinkTech Radio.
On February 23rd, the Hawaii Venture Capital Association and ThinkTech will present New Directions for the Engine of Our Economy, a study of contemporary tourism in Hawaii. Sign up for these programs on hvca.org. And now here's Bill Spencer, president of the Hawaii Venture Capital Association, with this week's Spensation.
That was a very good program with the Deal of the Year. And the crowd came down, and they were excited and enthusiastic about it. Of course, Brian Schatz had a lot to do with that. But all in all, it was an excellent program last week.
Thank you, Jay. And we're real proud of the company that won our Deal of the Year award, Teatris Online. Boy, is that company on fire. And they'll be hiring a lot more people and hopefully making a big splash out there in the online gaming business.
We're looking forward to that.
But I thought the Lieutenant Governor really had a breakthrough talk. Of course, it was all about clean energy and the importance of clean energy in Hawaii, and the goal of achieving energy independence, or at least by 70% clean energy by 2030, which is incredibly ambitious. But he made a point that I thought was rare for politicians, which is the notion of true sacrifice that people are going to have to put up with in order to achieve that goal. There will be windmills, there will be solar fields, there will be smelly algae, although I'm not sure algae smells.
No, it doesn't.
But the point is, you'll be able to see it, hear it, touch it, and it's going to happen. And we got to get used to that.
Yeah, I thought that was you're right. Coming from anybody in public office, that's an unusual statement to make. But I think it's a point very well taken, and I hope a lot of people hear about it and know about it and listen to it. It's ours. We are the ones. We create it. We live by it. We will benefit or not by it. It is our project, like it or not. And I don't think people get that message yet. And for him to be out there, making it clear to people is a very valuable statement.
And I think it's important to note that he wasn't saying that to throw the so-called precautionary principle to the wind.
No.
But I think it's an inevitability. If we're going to stop importing $6 to $7 billion worth of oil to meet our electrical needs, our power needs, we've got to put up with the consequences of clean energy.
Yeah, this is going to be painful. I don't know if that's one of the myths that people think that renewable energy is good in every which way, including in cost. That's not necessarily so. You have to build a new infrastructure. That costs money. There's no fairy godmother that's going to do it for you. So this community is going to have to spend the money one way or the other, by taxpayers, by ratepayers, to build that infrastructure. We are going to suffer before we are happy again. And right now, prices are going up, not down.
That's right.
So we're going to suffer some pain first.
It'll pay off in the long run.
Oh yeah, this is the best thing that could ever happen to Hawaii. And he sees it. He's got the vision.
Absolutely, Jay.
Thank you, Bill. And here's our co-working entrepreneurs, Richung Fujihira and Tony Stanford, to keep us current on their latest adventures at the Box Jelly.
I was really looking forward this week to have a nice, put down my hat and then have almost a week off after the crazy week we had week before. But, it didn't seem so. We had events from everything from Wetware Wednesday to a casting call for a new movie.
Yes, it was a really, really packed week as well. The Wetware Wednesdays, it's an event by HTDC, who have the Manoa Innovation Center, which was one of our inspirations when we first started.
It's really great to be able to work with them in the beginning of our stuff, and now on the same level with them. It's exciting.
I wouldn't say same level yet.
Well,
but,
you gotta always shoot the bar high. Keep climbing for it.
Keep climbing. So it was great to have a bunch of new people coming into the space and people who fit our profile. So that was a great event. On Friday, we had that casting call you're talking about.
Yes, so it's a modern-day twist on an old Hawaii legend titled
Mauka Charlie.
Mauka Charlie. And it's about a shark man, half shark, and it's a new horror film, so we're excited to see that.
Yeah, and his system was pretty interesting.
The system, he had, every 5 minutes, he had a new actor come in, and it was screened and casted and called, and it went through, and the whole process, how he did it, it was very efficient, and I was very pleased to see that.
Yeah.
And then talking to him after, we managed to find a full crew to be able to help us with our new commercial.
Yeah, we've been trying to get this commercial together for a while, so now we have someone who can help us storyboard us, and someone who can help shoot and edit. So we're really we're looking forward to doing this.
So we're really looking to bring this on to branding. But we've learned a few things about branding, haven't we?
Oh yeah, definitely. We've had a coworker this month from the Philippines. His name is Inari. He started a company called Vapor Studios in California, and then they opened an Asia office with what they're using now. They have product all over the place. I went to Apple Store. I saw one of his headphones there, and then he shows me all the different sketches that he used to get to that point and whatnot. So it was a really good event. And he came in, spoke to about 20 of our community members, and really there was a great Q&A session at the end.
Beautiful Q&A.
So that was great, and it's been turning the wheels on branding for myself and what we can do with the box jelly. So we're definitely going to be telling our story in new and better ways, and you'll be seeing a lot more of me talking about branding in the future.
We had a meeting of the minds with everyone that we're looking to have bringing the community around for the anchor tenants for the new space. So everybody from a maker space to a newspaper to design.
So it's going to be a very dynamic space, and I think maybe we can share a little bit more details with that as everything progresses and solidifies.
We're starting to really get on the top of the hill and watch it come down as it tumbles all down. So it's going to be fun.
We'll be right back to wrap up this week's edition of ThinkTech. But first, we want to thank our underwriters.
Thanks to the Scheidler Family Foundation, which supports a number of educational, cultural, and charitable organizations in Hawaii, including ThinkTech.
Hawaiian Electric Company and its affiliates Miko on Maui and Helco on the Big Island are deeply committed to the communities they serve.
Galen Ho is a senior executive of BAE Systems, a global defense, security, and aerospace company, and CEO of CBI Polymers, a tech company in Hawaii.
Don't forget ThinkTech. Please help us out by making a contribution on thinktechhawaii.com.
Okay, Roger. That wraps up this week's edition of ThinkTech. Remember, you can watch ThinkTech on OC16 several times every week. Can't get enough of it, just like Roger does. For additional times, check out OC16.tv.
You bet, Jay. For lots more ThinkTech videos and for underwriting and sponsorship opportunities on ThinkTech on OC16, visit thinktechhawaii.com. Be a sponsor or a volunteer and help us reach Hawaii.
I'm Jay Fidell. Thank you so much for joining us on ThinkTech.
I'm Roger Ulveling. Aloha, everyone.